It was like 5 sentences. So I was like, it looked like like a 5-year-old wrote.
I love you, Michael. I am your daddy.
Yo,
Hawk.
Adrian, I did it. Hawk.
Hawk. That's funny.
They might be. They might be. They might be. They might be. Help! Help us, please. Can't you see? They might be. They might.
Hey. Start that way.
Hey, welcome back to They Might Be Werewolves. Your hosts, Van and Patrick.
Hey, guys.
All right, and
This week we're
Go
talking
ahead.
about... No, shit. This week we're talking about Over the Top. And my first question to you is, what was your favorite Stallone movie before you saw this movie?
Oh, wow.
Because it's obviously this film now.
It has to be this film now. I don't know. My favorite Stallone film has to be First Blood.
That's a good one.
Has to be first one. I haven't seen the other ones. It has to be the first one.
You've not seen any of the other Rambo movies?
I'm sure I have. I just don't really remember them, and I don't care for them. First Blood's the best.
In the second one, he kills the entirety of the Russian army in Vietnam.
He does. There's just something about when he's just drifter, you know, just the plot drifting, and a cop just gets him in over his head.
Yeah,
That plot just does it for me. Gets me going.
it's pretty solid. Mine was Rocky. About
Oh, it would be Rocky. Like, that's so cliche. Oh, what's your favorite Stallone film? Oh, it's Rocky. Like, yeah, everyone's favorite Stallone film is Rocky. I mean, come on, give me something like someone's not gonna know, you know, or like
Judge Dredd.
There we go. Okay, we could do Dredd. I'll give you that one.
Him and Rob Schneider, the future fighting biofreaks.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's the one I love. Him and Armand Desante having some brotherly dispute.
Yeah, that's a good movie. I don't know of many more, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
I've seen a bunch.
Well, anyway, this film, Over the Top, is it's quite over the top. Would you say?
I've never seen a movie title quite live up to the promise of its name before like this. Like, this movie is 45 minutes of child bonding drama between a father and a son who've been estranged from each other that turns into the most ridiculous arm wrestling contest I've ever seen in my life.
Who knew arm wrestling could bring fathers and sons back together?
Apparently Stallone.
I sure didn't.
You know what else this movie is for us?
What?
Our first canon films.
What does that mean?
Oh my goodness. Maybe the greatest B-budget B-movie studio in the history of cinema. Like, the best Chuck Norris movies, the best Stallone movies, the best American Ninja movies. Just boobs and violence.
I mean, I've never heard of them.
You ever heard of Masters of the Universe, Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, Delta Force, Invasion USA,
Nope.
Cobra?
Nope. I've Master of the Universe. I've heard of that. I've never heard of any other ones.
Yeah,
But of course
that's
you
the
have.
studio. I got nothing else to do.
Nothing else to do with useless information.
So the director of this movie, Menahem Golan, and his cousin Yoram Globus were the owners of Canon Films. And they're from Israel.
And they're really good at making films.
I don't know if they're really good at it, but they're always memorable. Like, you're not going to forget a Canon film.
You can't if you watch Over the Top, like, you're not going to forget that movie.
Yeah. So let's get into it, shall we?
I think that's a great idea.
We start the movie with a musical intro of a truck driving down America's highways,
Mhm.
and it's Stallone driving to see his son graduate from military academy that his grandfather has stuck him in.
Right.
And is like, this kid is all by himself. Which cracks me up after watching this movie 3 times this week, thinking about it, is that this whole movie is about these 3 people warring over custody for this kid, and nobody's at his graduation.
Not one person's there. Yeah, not one person. That's true. His grandfather's not there. Obviously, his mom can't get there for obvious reasons, and his dad's not there. No one's there. Poor kid.
His dad even is late because he has to bathe in like a truck stop.
Right. And I just want to say the first 2 minutes of just that truck driving, and I think it was, if I remember, I think it was Kenny Loggins playing in the background.
It's somebody.
And I'd be honest with you, I don't think I ever wanted to drive a truck more in my life. I really just wanted to get on the road, make a career change, and just get out there and drive.
Well, I mean, according to this movie, a 12-year-old could do it.
Right? Anyone could do it.
Yeah, we'll get to that part, but that part's hilarious to me for other reasons.
Yeah.
So we get to the military academy, and we are introduced to little Michael Cutler, who is this obnoxious little military brat who comes from a rich family,
Knows everything.
knows everything, and he's starting to get into the limo his grandfather has sent him to take him to the airport, and the colonel calls him. He's like, Cutler, come to the office.
That's a good impersonation. You sound just like him.
Yeah. Cutler, your father's here. And this Stallone just creepily hanging out in the window.
Your father's here.
He wants to take you across country.
No one finds this weird.
Your mother called and said it was okay.
Right.
And the kid goes into the office and he sees his father for the first time in his life.
In his entire life. Could have been, he didn't know who he was.
Yeah. He's like, who is this man you're about to send me away with in a semi truck?
And everyone's okay with it. It's okay. Your mom called. It could have been any woman that made that phone call. Yeah, let him go with this man.
And the only proof is a wedding photo.
Yeah. This is the 80s, man. They didn't have Photoshop then. You couldn't do that.
Well, what cracked me up is when he got on the base, all he said was, I'm picking up Private Cutler. And they're like, get on in.
Yeah, you're here to pick him up? Good. Get him out of here. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Just how easily that transpired. Just no one there for the kid. Dude shows up. I'm his dad. I'm his daddy. And he's coming home with me. Here's a photo of me and this woman that just called you. I'm taking the kid.
Michael and his dad, who is named Lincoln Hawk or Hawks, they never kind of settle on his name in this movie because he's called.
They kept going back and forth. Hawks, Lincoln, Lynx. It's like, pick a fucking name. Pick a damn name.
So Lincoln and his son Michael get in the trap, and his cab is full of pictures of him.
Right.
Just creepy serial killer like style postings of Michael on the thing, and he's like obviously asks, why do you have so many pictures of him?
Yeah, this is odd. Turns out he's been keeping tabs on his little boy.
Yeah, and I can never figure out if it's the grandfather hiding letters or is his mother hiding letters from him.
Right.
The big reveal is that like he finds the letters in his mother's like purse.
Yeah.
So for 12 years, his mother's been hiding information about his dad's letters.
Right.
I was like, this movie doesn't know what the hell is going on.
This poor kid.
Yeah, they're talking. He's like, pull over. And this is, mind you, the first 5.5 minutes of the film.
Right.
So the kid, they pull over. The kid hauls ass out of the truck bed. And they cut across a real busy like highway, and he's chasing after him and rips the kid's jacket, like one sleeve completely off. And like this starts a trend for the rest of the movie of like nobody caring what happens to this kid in public daylight
at all. Like no one's concerned. At all.
Yeah. Nobody's worried this grown ass Italian man is chasing down this kid in the middle of the street.
Absolute. Like, and not to mention he's completely out of place in a truck. Like, not Stallone, obviously. He looked like he belongs there. It's the kid in the uniform. Looks like he might have been kidnapped.
Yeah, it looks like an Amber Alert in process.
Yes. He did not belong in that truck.
Big ass red semi, you get a phone call, you get like a buzz on your phone. It's like, look out for Stallone and semi. He has a child.
He has a child with him.
Answers to the name Hawk, Lincoln, or Link. They get back in the cab. They're driving along. They're trying to get to California because the mom is sick. He's like, you hungry? And the kid's like, he's like, sure. And they pull over and he takes them it's noon. He takes them into this truck bar restaurant. Yes. That's the busiest restaurant I've ever seen. I don't think I've
ever seen a more busier restaurant than that. Like there were so many truck drivers in there.
Like 40. And this is where the movie gets ridiculous.
Yeah,
up to this point is
it's just a normal movie up to this point. And then all of a sudden it's just you step in this like diner who's crazy busy / truck stop, but also / underground arm wrestling ring.
So they're sitting at the bar, and it's a bar. It's a seedy bar. There's beer bottles everywhere. They order from the truck stop waitress who obviously serves everything. They're sitting there and like he's talking to his son he just met 25 minutes ago. Like a guy in like the seedy guy in overalls with a mullet and like overalls and a t-shirt underneath. And he comes up and I was like, "Are you Hawk?
Yeah.
Are you Hawk?" He's like, "What of it?" He's like, "I'm Smasher."
Yeah, the names. I'm Smasher.
I'm Smasher.
I've been looking for you on account you're the one to beat on arm wrestling.
Delivers one of my favorite lines. He goes, "I don't believe in anything." I was like, "What?" And at this point, the entire bar is gathered around this pair.
Everyone. At least 300 people in this place.
Can you imagine like being in the middle of a theater and like not knowing what to expect in this movie, and all of a sudden this scene occurs?
Right. Like someone just has like, "Hey, come watch this movie with me." Like you don't know anything about it. And then he's like, "What the heck's going on? They're arm wrestling?"
Yeah.
I thought he was a truck driver.
They like set up this arm wrestling station in like the other half of the bar
Mm-hmm.
that they're just set up for arm. Like apparently there's a trucker.
They had it ready.
Yeah, there's a trucker division of arm wrestlers.
Right. They compete.
Yeah. So he does that. Meanwhile, he leaves the son by himself at the bar, and this giant of a man comes in,
Behemoth.
walks up behind the kid, quite gently grabs a hold of the boy's hand, and just holds it.
Yeah.
He's like, "Who's that guy to you?"
Yeah.
He's like, "That's my dad."
That's my dad. Yeah.
Too bad. I was like, "What is with the creepy hand holding?"
Yeah. And yes. Like, what is it? Just the creepy, just dialogue in general.
Yeah.
Like, you ever had a conversation with someone? That's not how you do it.
You don't walk up behind
You
them
just don't.
and slowly caress their hand.
It's just not how you do it with children in public places. You don't come up behind them and grab their hands and just start talking creepily.
And this is how we're introduced to the main villain arm wrestler, Bull, right?
Yeah, I think it was Bull. Yeah, his name was Bull.
Yeah.
Played by, what's his name?
Richard Zemeckis, is a comic, something. He's never been in another movie before.
I knew you knew it.
So Stallone, Lincoln Hawk beats Smasher, and the boy goes up to him. He's like, "You hustled that guy. You're a hustler," letting us know the kid doesn't know what hustling is,
Right.
because that was a fair competition.
Right. Completely fair.
Yeah, all the rules were established.
Like,
everybody knows what's going on.
Like, yeah, he got challenged. It's not like he challenged him. Or
He's like, "I'm gonna go call my mom."
Yeah.
So he goes to call his mother. Like we never like really find out why like Lincoln Hawk and the boy's mother separate. It's highly suggested that the grandfather separates them, like breaks them apart.
Yep.
But like it's kind of left like that they're still married and they've just not seen each other for 12 years.
Yeah. They really do not touch on that at all. Like why they left or why he left.
Yeah. So the mother is Christina Hawk, and she is in the hospital because she has to go into heart surgery.
Yeah, heart surgery. I was gonna say.
Like, yeah, and every time we see her in this movie, she's progressively worse off than she was the scene before.
Yeah.
So you obviously know what's about to happen.
Yeah. She's like one scene standing up, the next one she's sitting down, the next one she's laying down. Then the next one, she's covered up on blankets, laying down. Then you never hear from her again.
So he's talking to her. Now we're introduced to Jason Cutler, who's played by Robert Loggia, and he's the grandfather of little Michael. And he's telling the colonel, he's like, "You just let my grandson go off with a random trucker."
Yeah. And when he said that, I'm like, yeah. I mean, he's got a legitimate concern there.
Yeah, the whole movie, every concern he has, 100% legitimate.
100%. It's like, this dude has not been around for 12 years. Why is no one freaking out?
Yeah, he doesn't have a place of residence. He lives in a truck. I can't have my grandson live in a truck.
Very valid concerns. Everyone thinks he's the villain. It's like, he's literally just trying to provide the kid with stability. And like
his mother just died.
Right. And like, dude, you don't have a house.
You live in a beat up truck.
Yes. Like, oh yes. It's so funny when you go back, you watch that, and you're like, dude, he actually is the only one that's sane, trying to help the kid.
Yeah, he's like trying to deal with arm wrestling tournaments and custody fights and semi trucks being driven into his house. We get the bonding montage of they're driving along and then like they're messing with the stereo and he's trying to teach them life lessons.
Yep.
They pull over at night because they're getting tired of driving. And this leads to maybe the weirdest scene I've ever seen in a film.
I can
Like,
honestly
it's
say
so strange.
it's the creepiest scene in cinema.
Yeah.
And it only gets progressively creepier, like as the scene goes on. Because I gotta say, I give Stallone his credit on most films. He can act pretty good. This film, like, it seems like he had one dialogue, like tone. He never changed. It was just like he was very inconvenienced by everything. Just like, oh, nonchalant. It's like, yeah, you know. I guess like he didn't have any other range.
Well, I don't think he really tried because, like,
He didn't.
from what I read, how they got him in this movie, Menahem Golan was like, "Come on, Stallone, you did Cobra for us. That's our highest-grossing movie ever. You can do this truck movie." He's like, "No." He's like, "I'll keep giving you money," and he's like, "No." And he just kept offering more and more money until Stallone was like, "Sure, I'll do it."
Dude, I gotta say, something had to be up because like he did not act in this movie.
No,
He was just present the entire time. Like there was no expression. He was just there.
he's trying not. The movie's so over the top. He's like almost trying to counterbalance it.
Right, because it's
He
like
read the script and he's like, "I can't be too much."
I can't do too much. I gotta be like, but like every line he delivers that's supposed to be important and deep and weighted, it was just delivered the same and just casual, like just casually just talking. Was no like his voice never raised, it just stayed super low. It's very weird. It made the scene even creepier.
So the scene,
Get to
they
it.
pull over and he's like, "I think we both need a rest." He's like, I don't see I don't see a hotel anywhere. I don't see a hotel anywhere, Dad. He's like, "Truckers do it all the time." He's like, "Do what? Sleep in the truck?" He's like, "Yeah." And this is the point the boy's starting to really, really regret getting in this cab.
Yeah, 100%. I'd be scared at this point. I'd be looking for ways out.
Yeah. Yeah. You'd be running.
Yeah. And was it normal in the 80s for trucks not to have anywhere to sleep other than the driver's seat?
I don't know anything about 1980s semi trucks.
What do you mean you don't know? I figured you would know this.
I do not.
You didn't
I will be
research
honest with you,
this?
it's a gap in my knowledge.
You didn't research
I was
this?
just- I was more concerned about the scene.
Well, I needed you to research these things.
All right, I'll have it down in the future. So he goes, "If your neck gets tired, you can put your head on my shoulder." He's like, I'll be all right over here."
Yeah, he's like, I'm over here. Leave me alone.
Yeah, he scoots as close to the window as he can possibly get.
Without going out it.
And then cut to like them in the morning. Oh no, and Stallone goes, "In the morning we can work out."
Just randomly.
And cut to them waking up in the morning and Stallone has his head on the kid's shoulder.
Oh, just well, it just came around like that, just beautiful.
It legit freaked me out the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the creepiest way to end that scene.
Yeah, I mean, I think why did they not go back after? Like, obviously someone was watching this and when they're editing it, why don't I just cut that out? Just cut that minute long scene out. Just leave it out.
My best guess is because it's Canon Films and like I think it's because they're Israeli and like it's like different cultural norms, maybe. Because like they got some weird movies in Israel. Like they're like the ones they were making before they came over to the United States, like Menahem and his cousin, like lemonade popsicle, which is like a coming of age story, but it's like super sexual. It's like a softcore porn. And it's the highest grossing Israel film of all time.
What?
Yeah. It's like there were 3.4 million Israelis at the time, and 1.3 of them went to the theater to see this movie.
That's insane.
Yeah. They're like super successful.
I had no idea.
The next morning, cut to a training montage because Stallone's got to have a training montage.
It's got to. And what were those exercises? Like, I mean, they were hanging off. They were just standing in front of the truck doing one arm like pulls. They were pulling themselves to the truck. Like,
Yeah, it's for arm wrestling, bro. Like you gotta like have that pulling strength because you're a puller. That's what they call arm wrestlers, professional pullers.
professional pullers.
Yeah, this movie sent me down an arm wrestling rabbit hole.
Like, is that an actual thing? Like,
Yeah, they're called
not the rabbit hole, like, but actual arm wrestling competitions.
Do you want me to go into it now, or do you want me to wait for the arm wrestling
Yeah,
competition?
I'm an open book.
All right. So the success of this movie in Europe led to subsidization of arm wrestling contests in Europe and Russia. They became electives in high school.
What does that mean?
So like you could take PE, you can do arm wrestling, you
Oh,
can do basketball.
wait, what? You could take arm wrestling in high school
Yeah.
because of this film?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
There was actually an over the top arm wrestling competition as co-promotion with this movie, and it was won by the greatest arm wrestler of all time, John Brzenk,
And
who's in this film for like 30 seconds.
how do you know that?
Because after I watched this movie, I watched the 2009 documentary Pulling John,
Oh my
which
God.
is it's a documentary about John Brzenk in like 2006 because he's been undefeated for like 20 straight years in arm wrestling.
Wow. He's got a monopoly on
And
the
it
system.
follows him and Travis Bashint and Alex Voida, who like these two like up and coming arm wrestlers.
Yeah.
Like Travis Bashint's from like West Virginia, and Alex Voida, who's now a Russian politician, was born in the Ukraine, and he went to Russia, and just follows their journey on trying to beat John Brzenk.
And you liked that, didn't you? I'm sure.
It was very good. It's very good. Travis Bashint's son now plays for the Chicago Bears.
Jesus Christ. You weren't getting it. Fuck, that was a rabbit hole.
Dude, there's three main types of arm wrestling techniques.
And you know
There's-
all this now
there's-
because watching this movie.
Yes, there's the hook, the shoulder press, and the one that John Brzenk is real known for, which is like I can't remember, over the top, I think is what it's called. Like
Yeah.
not over the top, it's like something similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's like serious rules, and this movie follows all of them. Like if your hand slipped, you have to get strapped together.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Wow.
I went down a rabbit hole for that.
You don't say. Jesus. All right.
Anybody listening to this, I recommend Pulling John if you get a chance.
No one's gonna watch that. That's just you.
It's good.
That's just you. That's not for a lot of people. That's for very specific people like yourself. Not normal people.
Listen, man,
I love it though.
telling you.
I love it. That's you.
Yeah.
That's you, and that's what makes you great. 'Cause I don't do that. I just like the process of I'm watching an arm wrestling movie, and it's like, you know what? I want to learn more about arm wrestling. Let me learn every technique I possibly can for no reason at all. You didn't have to do that, but he did anyway. He did it for you, folks. He did it for you.
I did. I love you guys, but I also love arm wrestling.
All right, let's continue with this plot.
Where were we at?
I think we were waking up. He woke up on his shoulder, and he did some really good exercises in front of the truck.
And he also ripped off the other sleeve of his jacket, so
Yes.
he had a sleeveless jacket.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
I remember that.
So they're driving. It's revealed he has a pulley weight system in his cab for some reason out of nowhere,
And now,
where he practices.
yeah, and now giving your knowledge of arm wrestling, is that something that's good to have?
It looks like he was practicing the shoulder press technique
Seemed like it, yeah.
from the way he was moving. Yeah,
and And that's not a good technique.
No, they're all valid. They're just used in different circumstances. Like bigger guys would like hook first, like smaller guys against bigger guys hook first, and like they pull them into the shoulder press.
So it's almost like doing different techniques at different times, different stages of the battle.
Yeah,
Right.
yes, you are correct, sir. You watch Pulling John?
I didn't. No. I'll be honest, I don't think I'm gonna watch that. That sounds. That's yeah. I don't know. That's not me.
Is this where we get into the conversation about mental ages?
Mental what?
Where this boy starts talking about like social hierarchies of mental ages.
I don't remember. Is this where
Yeah, so
I'm trying to think? Is this where he tells him something happens? Is this one of the scenes where, like, or was this in the cab when he's like, "Are you gonna get violent?"
yes, that's the part.
Okay, yeah, that's where we're at.
So word for word, he goes, I don't see any books in here. Strength isn't everything.
Right? Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like, you're just a different like social like category. He's like, tell me about these social categories. And he's like, yeah, so like they say most adults have a average mental age of 15, like only 3 years older than me. And like truck drivers got to have it like 11 to 14, right? And he's like, basically calling his stats stupid. And then what he does is like
Around it.
child's play,
Yeah.
which is hilarious because like 30 seconds later, he tries to teach him a lesson, which proves the boy's point.
Right. Literally
He's
slaps
like, you
himself in the
think you're so
face.
smart. Why don't you drive this truck?
Yeah.
And then he proceeds to teach him how to drive the truck in 5 minutes.
Yes, with like instantly. I believe he got in there. He just had to learn how to turn it on. That was all he needed, and he was good to
Yeah. Yeah. He drove a semi down the road in like 35 seconds. See,
go.
like everything this man knows how to do in life, like he spent his whole life cultivating, he teaches his son how to do in a 2 day period.
Literally, and they bond especially over it.
Yeah, he creepily challenges this another kid to like an arm wrestling contest with his son at a diner.
Yep. And that kid was anyone?
I did. I don't throw me in a loop for Mullet Kid. That was
Mullet,
Mullet.
mullet kid. He's not known for much. I don't think if Patrick doesn't know
Yeah, I think he was on the Partridge Family for a while.
him.
So Mullet Kid, he challenges Mullet Kid to a 2 out of 3 like betting scenario.
Yeah, hustle him.
So they're in a diner. They're walking by these 3 little rat kids playing pinball, and like Stallone gets the bright idea to challenge one of them
Just randomly.
arm wrestling. Yeah, just randomly. Just pops into his head. He's like, "You feeling strong, boy?"
Yeah, you
He's
strong.
like, "Yeah,
We worked out this morning. You're strong, boy.
yeah." Basically, and he goes up to Rat Mullet Kid, and he's like, "You, my boy here thinks he can beat you in arm wrestling."
Yep. I think he bet
He's
it.
like, "I'll put $10 to your one," and then the rat kids start throwing slurs, like
Yeah,
homophobic slurs at the little boy.
he really did. He
He's
was,
like, "Yeah,
which we're not going to say because that's inappropriate.
yeah," but that's what happened.
Yeah.
So he's like 2 out of 3, and the rat kid beats him in the first one.
Absolutely smokes him. You would say he got him with the over the top move, or would you think he got him with the pull? What technique did you say that
Rat telling you,
Huh?
I think he got him. I think he just got him with a
Just
amateur pull.
just overpowered him. Yeah, just
overpowered him.
Yeah.
Like, there's no good technique in that.
he just out strengthened him. Yeah,
Yeah, outstrength him with the rat mullet,
that has to
and
add
then why?
a couple extra, physical strength. The mullet.
It's a +5 power modifier.
It adds to his frame. He's pretty yoked, that kid, though, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because he was like 16.
Wasn't his son that same age? How old was his
12.
son? Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I wasn't yoked like that at 16.
Now it's 250 pounds.
He was on a diet regimen. It seemed like he was working out. He was stout.
Yeah. He was stout. Whiny Michael Cutler runs away because he lost. And Stallone has to give him one of his like super impressive like family life speeches.
Yeah, which
Like
he delivered the same way he delivered every line in the movie. Once again, I cannot make that clear. He literally did not act in this movie.
no, there's no acting in this film.
Like, if you think of Stallone, you actually think this guy's an action star. He can act. He did not act in this movie.
No, he did not emote.
Everything he said was said the exact same way. It was crazy. I was like, dude, wow.
And mind you, I love this movie.
Right, you really did. You watched it 3 times, you said.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, he's like, listen, it's not about losing. It's about being dignified when you lose.
Right. Deep stuff.
Yeah, I was like, all right, that's getting deep. Teaching this kid how the world works. Most of his life lessons are terrible. Like his other one is the world's not going to meet you halfway, so just take what you want, do what's right for you.
Look out only for you. Be very selfish.
Yeah,
Don't
leave your wife and kid before he knows who you are.
Right, and now we're starting to realize might be the reason why he hasn't been around. He just is a selfish dude.
He's just not a good man.
He wants to be on the road. He doesn't want to take care of responsibilities. He just wants to be on the road, arm wrestling and driving trucks.
Yeah, I was glad your grandfather was there, so I would have an excuse to leave.
Yeah.
So he pumps up his son, and he's like rubbing his shoulders as they go for round 2.
Getting
He's
him
like,
ready.
Take it over the top. Take it over the top. Kid.
Over the top. Over the top. Which I think we didn't touch. Which I don't think we touched on in that first scene. That first arm wrestling where he did with Smasher, when he did that little technique. And then, like, it got a real close up on their hands, and he like moved his fingers over, like, on his thumb,
Yeah.
and then like it had like a little flute playing in the background, like when he did it. He said,
Oh, that's what it's called. It's called the top roll.
The top roll.
It's the technique. I can't remember the name of it.
But I remember that, and then that's what he taught his son, and that's what his son did. When you say, go over the top.
He does the top roll and he smashes Rat Bullet Kid.
And then you end up beating him again. He beats the kid again.
Yeah, it's a 2 out of 3, which I was like, how are they gonna like work? How do you do a 2 out of 3 like scene in a movie and not be boring as all hell?
Right. They somehow did it.
Yeah, I was like, because if he loses the first one and he wins the next one, well, you obviously know he's gonna win the next one, right?
Yeah.
Like it takes all suspense out of it, but like
I was in there.
it worked for me.
I was in there. I was on the edge of my seat.
I was really locked in the moment Rat Kid said, if I lost to you, kid, I would have to kill myself.
Yeah, he meant it.
I was like, I completely know your family history.
Yeah.
You know how many times a week your dad hits you?
Right. Jesus. Then he's up beating the kid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they have a little father-son moment. And he's like,
And they're fully bonded.
Yeah, fully. They're
Okay.
like almost like they never even were apart. They're like best buds, father and son, just loving life.
Yep.
And he's like, I want to call mom. I'm going to call mom. So proceeds to go call his mom. And then after he gets off the phone with his mom and Hawk is talking to her, what happens then? To that poor little boy. What happens, Patrick? What happens is poor boy's already been through so much. It's bastard of his grandfather.
Robert Loggia.
He has him kidnapped.
Has 3 goons to snatch him in public. Like violently. Like throw him into a car. While 2 of them drive off with him at high speeds while the third one stays behind to kick his dad's ass.
Like, you obviously don't care about this boy's life. You got 3 people throwing him in a car, running, like going super fast, breaking the speed limit, and just cutting through lanes, doing U-turns.
Do you know who really doesn't care for his life? His dad, because he
dad.
runs the car off the road with the semi truck
Right? He gets in a semi and just goes like full speed chasing after him.
and hits them, so he goes off the road with his kid in the car.
Right?
I would have been like not surprised if little Michael Cutler shot through the front window.
Right? I was absolutely expecting something to happen. And guys just get out of the
Yeah.
car. Hey, let's get out of here, man. And somehow, and like all of that, they don't, somehow his dad automatically knows this is his grandfather that did that.
I mean, it might be common history for him. Maybe it's not the first time he sent somebody to get kidnapped.
But like, as soon as after he gets out of the car, he's like, tell him he's staying with me. It's like, how do you know? I was like, dude, how do you know that's what his grandfather? Like, how did you know that?
Yeah. This is another part of the movie where nobody in the public is like
Caring for the
Should we
child.
call the police?
No one called the police. Nothing happened. Boys, this happens all the time.
Yeah. So, semi trucks, kidnappings. It's what should happen at old Pete's junkyard.
Yeah.
So they get to the hospital where his mother is at, and they find out. They go to the nurse and they're like, "We're here to see Christina Hawks." And they're like, "And who are you?" I'm her husband. And he's like, I'm gonna go find a doctor. And they go to this scared old man
Yep.
who's never acted before in his life
Yeah.
in a doctor's coat.
He has a great bedside manner, by the way.
Yeah.
This comes up. She died on the table. He just said it on the open for everyone to hear. Everyone here. Okay. She's dead.
The boy hears him across the room.
Right. Just did not care about anyone that heard him. He just literally just leaned in and said, she died on the table.
Mid-operation.
Yeah.
So little Mike runs away again. His
Yep.
dad chases him. He's like, if it wasn't for you, I would have seen her before she died.
Valid.
And then the kid hails a taxi.
Yet somehow he gets in the taxi, and the taxi takes off.
His dad's screaming behind them, chasing the taxi down. Stop! That's my child!
Like, what kind of taxi just drives off the kid in it? Again, I'm pretty sure he got kidnapped. Again.
Yeah. Lincoln, grieving, he decides to go see his boy. And his boy's at his grandfather's house.
Yep, he wanted to see his boy.
He pulls up to the mansion. The gate's locked. All of his grandfather's goons are outside.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, they don't want to see you. You're not welcome here. He's like, all right. And he gets back in his truck, backs up down the driveway, and proceeds to drive the truck straight through the gate, through the lawn ornaments.
Straight into the house.
Yeah, straight into the living room.
Yeah.
Screaming Robert Loggia comes out from the balcony.
What are you doing?
Could have called me.
Right?
Pick up the phone.
Michael, I want Michael.
I want my son. And he proceeds to get his ass kicked by the security guards of the mansion.
Yes. And the cops get there. The response time for the cops were absolutely remarkable.
35 seconds.
It wasn't even
Helicopter.
it wasn't even a minute. They were there.
Yeah.
Like, I think from the time he hit the fence, they were already pulling up. Like that turnaround.
They're like, we've been looking for Stallone's truck from the Amber Alert from earlier.
Right. Thanks for the tip, Cutler.
Yeah.
That was insane. I remember how fast they got there, and I was just, that's insane. If the cops were that quick, 90% of the time, or even half the time, there would be no one breaking laws.
They were Batman in this movie.
They were just there.
Yeah. So cut to Lincoln Hawk in jail
Yep.
because he just ran his truck into somebody's house. into the living room. They could have been in the living room. He had no idea where they were at.
No, he could have killed him.
He just,
Could have easily killed
yeah,
his son.
yeah, he just assumed they were upstairs.
Yeah.
They could have been like looking out the window, seeing what the hell was going on in the lawn. What a semi truck ran him over.
Right. They would have never known.
Yeah, Michael, where you at? He's under the truck.
He's dead. Why
Yeah.
can't you just leave this family alone?
Stop murdering them. Mind you, we have not even got to the arm wrestling match.
No, we're not there. We're still on him fighting custody. And at this point, he doesn't need custody of this child. I think he's...
No, which is hilarious because the lawyer comes up to Robert Loggia and is like, "There's no way you can win a custody battle.
Yeah.
There's no loophole in the law. None exists where the courts are going to side against Lincoln Hawk."
Right. He's the model citizen. He needs his child. He is the father.
Yeah.
The boy's
He has
gone
no
with
house.
him. Right.
He lives in a truck. He's now in jail. He sure has lost his custody.
Yes. And not to mention, he ran the truck into a house.
Yeah.
He did not
Like,
need the...
if they had just left him in jail, their problems would have been over.
Yes. Like, I don't understand why, like, they go in there with the intent of trying to get him out of jail. They just leave us alone, Link. Just leave us alone. The boy's staying with us.
Yeah, he's like, trade your custody rights and we'll drop the charges.
It's like, I'm in jail. Made no sense.
Like, just let him stay in jail.
And,
He's not getting out for a while.
and your problems are solved.
Yeah. So he talks to his son. His son's like, I'm gonna have a better life with my grandfather. I don't know where we're gonna be living.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, the only thing I know is we'll be together. You live in a truck. Like,
Like, I have a life. I have a house. He can provide for me.
he's rich.
Extremely rich. I don't know if we said
Yeah.
that. His grandfather is
He has-
loaded.
Yeah, he's got an army of thugs.
Just for no reason.
One of them is Japanese deathmatch king Terry Funk, a pro wrestler and former NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
Who was it?
It's the guy when he goes to the hotel room and he's like, "Mr. Cutler's talking to you."
Yeah, but I'm saying, who was that? I thought it was Diamond Dallas Page. Is that who it was?
No, it's Terry Funk.
Terry Funk. You just said that, didn't you?
Yeah, it's the one he blows through the doors with the shove.
Oh,
Like
okay.
he shoves him and the entire wall explodes.
Yeah. I don't know who Terry Funk is. I gotta look that up.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Of course you know.
Yeah, it's Terry Funk, man. So they go their separate ways. Stallone's like, now we get into the arm wrestling portion of the movie.
Now
where
we're
Stallone
getting-
drives to Nevada. Meanwhile, cut to little Michael Cutler looking for his letters his mother had hidden away in her purse.
Yep. Which we
And the
don't
music's playing.
know if it was his mom or his grandmother or his grandfather. We don't know. But we're assuming
assuming
it
it was his
was
mother.
his mom because they were in a
Yeah.
purse.
Yeah. He finds them. He realizes his dad loved him the whole time.
He's been there through writing.
Yeah.
He didn't ever want to stop by,
Yeah.
but he could write.
Write a love letter to his son that changed his heart.
I don't know what he wrote. They didn't say it, but it was moving. It looked like the boy started crying.
Well, they do put a shot on one of the letters, and it's super wide rule lettering, like paper,
Yeah.
like a kindergartner would be writing on for like their first letters. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah. Like something you give
And the
to.
handwriting,
Yeah.
it was like 5 sentences. So I was like, it looked like like a 5-year-old writing.
I love you, Michael. I am your daddy.
Dear
Hawk.
Adrian, I did it.
Hawk. That's funny.
Reinvigorated by his father's letters, he decides to steal his grandfather's truck
Yes.
and drive from California. Either he drives from California to Nevada to Las Vegas, or he drives from California, from his father's house and his grandfather's house in California to the airport and gets on a plane that takes him to Las Vegas.
Right.
Either way,
How fast he got there was insane.
yeah. Can you imagine a 12-year-old navigating the streets in a truck without a GPS?
Yes, I don't think you could do that yourself. I know you couldn't without
No, I
GPS.
couldn't.
I don't think you
I
could
was
get to the McDonald's around the corner without a GPS.
no. I was That's why I thought about it. I was like how is this kid getting where he's going?
Yeah. Yes. That was yeah, I don't understand how he did that.
But he does. And now we cut to the creme de la resistance of this film.
Yes, and that's the arm wrestling.
Yes.
Nothing but
So,
beefcakes and just arm
the
wrestling.
over the top arm wrestling competition. $100,000 in prize money. World championship.
Yep.
A $250,000 semi truck.
Yes.
Yes. All you have to do is win a 500-man double elimination tournament.
And you got to know it's double elimination.
Yes.
Okay.
They say that 100. You
Oh,
know how many
100.
matches are in a 500-man double elimination tournament?
A lot.
There were 998 arm wrestling matches they had to watch.
Jesus. And I'm sure you crunched the numbers on that.
Yeah, I had to look it up. He said a 500-man double elimination arm wrestling tournament.
That's a lot. And it's so funny because, like, every time he said double elimination, he always followed up. He always said, you had to get beat twice, not just once, twice. Double elimination.
Please remember.
Yes, it's always in the background. He goes, please remember, double elimination, folks.
It comes into play mid arm wrestling tournament.
Yes, it does. It actually comes in because yeah, because everyone would be like, wait, but no, he's out. It's like double elimination, folks. Don't forget it.
Yeah. And there's like 8 main guys in this arm wrestling tournament. There's a whole bunch of famous real arm wrestlers in this, like John Brzezink's in there for a split second, Scott Norton, who was a WCW wrestler and an PW wrestler at one point. But before all that, he was an arm wrestler in the 80s.
How do you fall asleep at night?
What?
Like with this useless knowledge in your head. It's just like, does it ever cut off?
Sometimes. I take a lot of melatonin.
It's just so things are spinning. People's names are popping up. Ooh, that guy. Ooh, that guy.
Yeah, Scott Norton lost to Rey Mysterio on Monday Night Nitro, beginning his Giant Man killer gimmick,
And then
culminated in losing his mask to Kevin Nash.
And then it's like, I'm down a rabbit hole of wrestling. Oh crap, I can't sleep. He's just scrolling and looking at documentaries.
Yeah.
Life of
Kevin
Patrick.
Kevin Nash takes me to the Magic Mike series where he's a stripper dancing in those.
The life of Patrick. All right.
Yeah.
Continue with the arm wrestling.
So who was your favorite arm wrestler? Because I was hoping Harry Bosco won.
I really liked, I couldn't tell you their names, and I'm sure you probably know their names. I think it was a really hairy guy.
Mad Dog Madison or John Grizzly?
John Grizzly. I didn't he spit something in Stallone at once, or he had something in his mouth.
No. Yeah, he poured the Valvoline car oil down his throat.
Right, that, yes. Like, I like that guy. He brought a lot of energy. Like, he was, yeah. I wouldn't want to arm wrestle him.
Dude, they're all sweaty, hairy giants. Except for Stallone.
Right, everyone in this film, like, as arm wrestling, looked like they could absolutely destroy him.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's there. I think there had to be a requirement. You had to be over 6'4" and 250 pounds. And here's Stallone, like 5'10", 190.
Stallone's gonna be like 5'6". He's not a tall dude.
No.
He's like 5'6", 5'8".
Yeah, and he's only like 190. But these guys were massive. They're mountain of a men's.
And this is not even like Rocky IV Stallone.
No.
Like, he's not even like full Jack Stallone. He's like over the top Stallone, which is I'm not putting in body effort for this.
It's over the top Stallone.
Yeah. So we got Mad Mike Madison, John Grizzly, my favorite Harry Bosco, uh, and Bullion
What was his name? Just Bull?
Bull. Yeah, it's Bull Hurlington. Hurlington, who's the main bad guy who grabbed his son's hand at the beginning of the movie.
Very creepy guy. Yes.
Yeah.
With the chops. He's got the chops
And,
going all the way down.
yeah, and they're sweating and they're like, ah, ah, it's just a bunch of grunts and arm wrestling.
And I've never, and the fans just reacted so positively to all of it.
Dude, if this was how arm wrestling contests were in real life, it'd be the most popular sport in the
It
world.
would, it would. Like, there was more people active and cheering and than I've ever seen in any kind of competition.
Yeah, like it was the most intense. Like I could sit there and watch 998 matches.
I would too. Like, I would camp out.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
it'd be like Burning Man.
but it's such a classic 90s movie where it just like it really can it just motivates you, it just captivates you and like just gets you
You know what it
going.
reminds me of? Karate Kid, when they have that karate tournament, that all valley karate tournament in the first movie, and there's like 3,000 fans to see this like high school karate tournament.
Oh yeah. I don't know if I remember that. I'm sorry.
Have you watched movies before?
Do you watch film? Dude, I don't remember the movie we're talking about now. That's why.
Sylvester Stallone.
Dude, I don't remember it. I think I'm dumb. I don't think I process information correctly. I would have been the guy who wrote that letter to my kid. I love you. I'm dad.
Tell your mom to tell you I love you.
Yeah, I don't remember things well. It's not good for me. So anyway, continue with the beefcake.
So they're like doing the arm wrestling. They're like Bull's like telling everybody they're shit or shit bags or shitting themselves.
Yeah. You're shitless. He doesn't belong. He doesn't belong in my ring. He's shitless. I believe he actually said that. He's shitting.
He said he's shitting himself if he's
He's shitting.
He's shitting if he.
He's shitting if he thinks he belongs here with me. And there was one guy that said something that literally made no sense when they were going through like the little interviews or something. The guy in the white tank top.
Oh yeah. So that's like my favorite part of the tournament was those like little real life segments where they just cut to like
they were the best. But what did that guy
Yeah.
say? I do not remember what that guy said, but it was the best.
he's like, I don't like when people come up and slap me on the back and tell me good job.
Yeah. Yeah. But what did he say after that?
I don't remember. It was like the one I specifically remember is Stallone's last one.
Oh, Stallone's
We'll say
Stallone was the GOAT one for sure. But I remember that guy. He said, "I don't
Yeah.
like people coming up on me tapping my back because then I just go out there and I do good or something." Like it made no sense.
I don't need your back slap to do good. I just do good.
I just do good.
Again, in the middle of it, John Grizzly and Lincoln Hawks line up to each other, and lo and behold, John Grizzly beats Lincoln Hawk.
Destroys him.
Yeah, injures him, hurts his arm.
Yeah. And
Yep.
but not to worry, folks. It's double elimination.
Remember, you have to lose twice to be out.
I was like, if you lost now, they have a chance to get back in it. They made that very clear.
Yeah, which if you follow logically through, that means Lincoln Hawk would have had to be Bull twice.
Right, exactly. And I was thinking about that, like when they got into like the last round of people, like it was like 4 tables. I'm like, wait, this doesn't make sense. I'm like, you have to lose twice. I'm like, okay, so if that person loses, okay, but that person goes on, who's the next person gonna? Where's that loser gonna? Who's he gonna face? Like what?
Yeah, because Bull would have had to lose 2 in a row.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense. Unless they're like, and then once they get in that point, it's like, you only have to lose once now. Like, what?
So he's injured. He's like, as he's injured, he finds out his son's in the crowd. He's gotten there somehow.
Yeah, which, again, the fact that from the time, I guess if you think about it, the way you said it, 900 something matches of arm wrestling, he had enough time to get the Nevada.
Yeah,
Like the way they made it,
900.
the way they made it look is like it was happening so quick, and somehow the kid got from California, got on a plane, and got to the arm wrestling contest, and it still wasn't over. So it had to be 900 matches. He went through security. He went through everything. And he got on that plane somehow. Somehow got on the plane. I don't know how he paid for the ticket. I don't know how he got on the plane. But then he gets on the plane and he gets there. So he's there with his father.
Free 9/11, man.
Yeah. Anything goes.
Just let random kids on planes for free. So Robert Loggia tells him to come up to his room. He's got an offer for him, which I didn't really understand why he turned the offer down.
I don't either. Seems like he had nothing to lose at this point where he could just take the offer, but then also still compete.
Yeah. Just get on my life. Take this $500,000 check in this brand new semi out there.
Yeah. And how did he
leave me the hell alone?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just like I don't understand. Like, dude, take the money. It's more money than you're gonna win, and it's probably a better truck.
It was. He said it was the top of the line. This is as good a truck as you could buy.
It's like, what are you doing? Take the money.
$1 million in merchandise. He's just handing you to leave.
And this is 1987?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money then.
And that's where he's like, no, man, I'm going to go win this arm wrestling contest, which he doesn't think he's going to win. His son has to talk him into thinking he's going to win it.
He does. They have another bonding moment.
Yeah. That's after he knocks Terry Funk through the door and explodes it.
Yeah, Terry Funk comes in and says, he's talking to you. And he knocks him through the glass window.
And, like, I wonder what the deposit on that was for the hotel room.
Well, he's got it covered. I mean, he's just handing around $500,000 checks.
Probably hand that to the waiter. Not the waiter. Maitre d'? Not a maitre d'. What's the hotel?
Patrick, you would know. Don't ask me. Oh, no.
Sorry, I checked that.
Oh, no.
I was like,
he's going through all the compartments. He's searching for it. There's a lot of knowledge to go through. Manager?
We'll go with manager. Just that.
Someone that works at the hotel.
Yeah, just hand the $500,000 check.
Here's a check for the door.
Since it's a double elimination tournament, he's got another chance to win.
He's back in it.
So he beats, he beats Harry Bosco real fast. Like
real
it
quick.
looks like he cheated a little bit.
He did. He was super quick.
Yeah, and like Harry Bosco was like, I wasn't ready. And they're like, he was ready. I think the ref was like, the ref seemed a little paid off on that one, but
yeah, had to be.
I was rooting for Harry Bosco, to be honest with you, but I don't think he was going to win this movie about Stallone and his son.
Yeah, you can't overcome that. The bond they had, you can't overcome it.
He beats Harry Bosco. Bull beats the Canadian world champion or the Canadian champion, some hairy guy who's indeterminate from the other hairy guys. And then Lincoln Hawks makes it back to John Grizzly. I guess as a handicap, John Grizzly chugs a quart of like Valvoline car oil
for no reason.
Like, I beat you so easy. Yeah, I just beat you so easy last time.
I'm just gonna take some car oil.
He's like, I don't see it. He says something like that, and he's like, it's because you just went blind from drinking the motor oil.
You're probably dead. You're gonna die.
Well, it's fun. The joke afterwards, did you see the joke with him after that? Where he's popping Alka-Seltzer in a glass of water.
Oh, I did. Yeah. So he fights him. Oh, he's on my thumb. He's got my thumb.
I don't see it. It's legit. And then it comes down to the finals because he beat John Grizzly. I guess John Grizzly had already lost another match because it's double elimination.
It's double elimination, folks. If you lose, you got a chance again.
So he meets Bull in the finals, and he's like, they cut to the little vignettes. And this might be the greatest Stallone speech ever in a film. Do you want to take it?
I can take it. I don't remember exactly how it went, because my memory's faded. But so in all this film, not in all this film, but when he's arm wrestling, you'd always see him wearing a hat. And right before he would go fight someone, he would always turn his cap around and put it on backwards. So this little bit, they're asking him, he's like, well, I would just take my hat and I would just turn it around. It's like a switch. Turn into I turn into a truck. It's like I turn into a truck.
Full story, bro.
A machine.
He taps. He taps the same.
Yeah. It's like a switch. It's so stupid. So dumb.
Because he did it earlier in the movie, so you would have to watch it twice to get the reference when you go back.
Yes, you would.
It's like the movie, that Jordan Peele movie, Get Out, where you watch it the second time, and it's even creepier.
Oh, but see that one.
Guess what we're gonna watch at some point?
What's that?
Get Out.
Get Out.
So he wins the tournament. He wins the truck. He's holding his son up. He wins his son of his love of his son.
Yes.
Robert Loggia is watching him holding his son very creepily, pressing his head against his abdomen.
And he's starting, and it's almost like he's like, yeah, he's safe with him.
The exact wrong impulse to have.
Yeah. Yes, after everything, he's the right choice for my grandson.
Yeah. Does he have a place to live? He has a fancy new truck.
And he's got some money.
So the whole custody battle's never brought up again.
Never.
You just fade out on Robert Loggia, and they're like talking to each other. It's the boy and Stallone, and they're walking out, and they're like, "Dad, we should start a business called Son and Hawk." He's like, "What about Hawk and Son?" And the boy's like, "Hawk and Son. Hawk and Son. I like it."
Ah, gee whiz, Dad, that sounds great.
Yeah. And I was thinking of the whole time, I was like, that boy's last name is Hawk, right?
Right.
I know it's color, but it's actually Hawk. It should be Link and Mike Hawk.
Right. Link and my Hawk.
Just like on the side of the truck.
That would be funny. Link and my Hawk.
Link and Mike Hawk.
You gotta say it quick.
Yeah.
Link and my Hawk.
My Hawk.
My Hawk.
This movie, man. Jesus Christ.
What did it do for you? Did it change your I mean, it seems like it opened a lot of avenues for you. Like you learned a lot about arm wrestling that probably no one should know. And you watched a lot of films that no one should probably ever watch because of it.
I watched 3 documentaries on Menahem Golan, the director of this movie.
Okay, I was there for a second. I'm like, who the hell is that? Which I'm pretty sure you've already said that's who it was. I forgot.
Dude, fascinating human being. We'll have to more Cannon films, the more I'll bring him up. But he's a real go-getter. That was over the top. And like I said earlier, I don't think a title has ever lived up to the promise as much as this movie has.
That's very true. And the art of the book, or not the book, but the cover of the, I guess, film is so epic. Like you can't.
I hope you put it on the.
I will. Like you can't describe it. It's literally just Stallone just flexing his muscles. There's like an eagle. There's a truck, and there's lightning. It just says over the top.
Well, the way Golan and his cousin would make movies is they would make a poster of what they want to sell, and then they would sell that to some foreign market. And whatever money they got from that, they would spend most of it on a star and then make this. That's what they did with everything. They would make the poster first, sell that poster to a market, and then that's how they funded films. So for our next film, I'll give you a choice. Do you want to do either a obscure 90s science fiction movie or a famous director's early monster movie?
I don't know. Tell me the names of the movies first.
Mimic and Lex, I Worship His Shadow.
I don't even know why I asked. Like I would know the film. Like if you're suggesting it, I don't know it. I don't care.
All right, but folks, next week, Lex, I Worship His Shadow.
Is that the monster one or?
That's the obscure 90s science fiction one.
Okay, because I didn't know.
Yeah.
All right, Lex and what is it?
Mimic.
Mimic?
Yeah.
What's the name of it again?
Lex and Mimic.
That's the title.
Mimic. No. One is Lex, the other is Mimic.
I'm so lost. What's the name of the movie? What's the name of the movie? Just say it.
Just said it 4 times.
Lex and Mimic?
The science. Yeah, they're 2 different movies you get to pick from.
Oh, I'm asking which one are you picking?
Oh, Lex.
Okay, what's the full movie?
Lex, I Worship His Shadow.
Okay, I'll try to remember that.
I'll send you the link.
Lex, I Worship His Shadow. Got it.
You excited?
No. It's gonna be awful. Is it good?
Oh, I saw it when I was 10 years old,
So it's bad.
and I've loved it ever since. Yes, it's terrible, but it's great at the same time.
Can't wait.
All right, bud, check it out.
Wait, get a sign off
What's the sign off?
for the people listening. The podcast.
Oh, good night, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed our podcast.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Goodbye.